Hello and welcome to the Jumpcast. I will be your host today, Nick, and what is it? We're on episode 43. I feel like I always change up my intros when I do this, but we're tackling chapter 236 of Jujutsu Kaisen, and of course, I'm joined with my other two hosts, the other two Maxes.
Heyo.
Hello, I'm a little raspy today.
Yeah,
We'll
Max
power
went.
through.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, as I said, we're covering chapter 236, and I guess this is a big chapter. We're gonna get into the whole mess of it, but right at the beginning, I'm just gonna do the chapter recap. Um, so we start off with Geto greeting Gojo, and Gojo being really pissed off about it and saying that like I messed up on my view of the afterlife. I thought that you died alone, and now I'm seeing you. You're messing with my perspective. I told one of my students that you die alone. And then after that, um, what is it? Geto asks how the Kina curses Sukuna was, and Gojo's just like, he was really, really strong. He didn't even go all out. Uh, what is it? One of the quotes, I can't emphasize the magnitude of his sheer power and everything like that. Um, Gojo then talks about how the quote that we talked about for the past like 2 months, the like, I'll show you what love is, and like how lonely it is being the strongest. Um, he goes over that. Then he said like it was a fun fight. Um, he felt bad that he couldn't let Sukuna go all out. He missed Geto, and then we see all the other characters that died. We see Nanami scolding Gojo because Gojo is acting like a, I don't know, what's the best way to put it? Trees, how'd you put it besides how Nanami did?
He's just being a little. He's just being bratty like usual.
Yeah, exactly. Um, uh, Basically just saying that Gojo got a kick out of Jujutsu sorcery just because that's what all he lived for. He didn't care about other people or anything like that. Um, but I guess that he still appreciated how Gojo died. Um, and then they talk about, I'm sorry, I'm doing such a bad explanation of this, but it's such a weird beginning to the chapter. Um, Gojo asks Nanami how was it like when he died. He quotes Mei Mei when he had a conversation with her, which is like you can either start anew and head north, or you can be your old self and go south. Nanami went south. Um, and so then I don't know, I guess Gojo just took that uh, as it was, and then he yelled at Principal Gakuganji, just being like, "Hey, I didn't die with any regrets. Haha, remember how you said that?" Um, and then Gojo's dead. Just a full page spread of Gojo sprawled on the ground. Uh, and then we get an explanation from Sukuna on how Maharaga's adaptation worked, which is basically the first time that he gets hit, he adapts, and it just takes time for the adaptation to be complete. But Maharaga is never fully done adapting to stuff. He'll just adapt in a new way after he's done. So with that, Sukuna was like, "Oh, I'm gonna use Maharaga as an example on how I can bypass infinity." So then he explains that Maharaga, the first time that he adapted to Gojo's infinity was by I don't know. I'm gonna akin it to like domain amplification. Like Maharaga changed his curse energy to be able to go through infinity. But Sukuna's like, I can't do that. So then the next part is that Maharaga cut through existence itself, which is something that Sukuna could do, which is a really weird thing to go into. We can go more into that. And so then with that, he just cut Gojo in half. And he said that Gojo was really epic and that he'll never forget him. Uh, and then Kashimo shows up. So that was the chapter.
Ah!
Um,
It's Gojo over.
Anyways,
That's it.
yeah,
It's
it is
gone. The
Gojo
series is
over.
over.
We knew this was
Um,
coming.
Yes, but this was not the way that I don't think anyone expected it to be.
No.
Yeah. I'm trying to go over my notes and see what to say. Actually, here, I'll just you two, what what did you think of this chapter?
I
Which one
always
either you throw it out?
Burden,
Oh, do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
go for it.
I I've been hearing. I'm saying this is pretty controversial. I saw on TikTok and Twitter pretty mixed views on it, but um, I can see both sides. I actually kind of enjoyed this chapter. I thought it was really good. My only thing is, like a bunch of people had said, and I don't know if you guys thought the same, it feels like there was a missing chapter. And in his editor comment, Gege did state, because the break week, he kind of just forgot to write a chapter. So I feel like if there's a little bit, not actually showing Gojo die, of course, but a little bit more of like maybe Gojo and Sukuna having a conversation after the end of next chapter and before the start of this chapter. I feel like this fight is a very satisfying end to this fight, in my opinion, but maybe even more satisfying.
Yeah, no, that's fair. With that, actually, that's something I wanted to touch on as well with that missing chapter. I said this several episodes ago that for the sake of the story, Gojo does have to die. The concept where, since he's built up so highly to be the strongest, once that the villain takes him down, then the villain is that much stronger and therefore poses that much more of a threat. Again, from a storytelling perspective, that's an awesome setup. With the missing chapter concept, that, in my opinion, I think was an intentional choice to be used probably later. Like, we're going to see that conversation or whatever happened later on in a secondary final fight against Sukuna. It's going to be a flashback to something that Gojo then said to him regarding showing him what true love is, and we're going to see another one of these just very anime storytelling flashback type of scenes, in my opinion. But I think the beginning of the chapter also was really, I love it when stories do this, when they take you just completely off. Like, I know this is a weird thing to compare it to, but the Harry Potter scene, literally the exact same thing. They're at a train station.
Yeah, that one.
Like, I think it's a really good and very modern way of depicting death. Or I guess they're at an airport. Well, regardless, it's like that intermediary of transportation. I love that trope. I think it works really well, and I like that we get to see all of these characters again. They get to have like their final say before they truly pass on. And on top of that, it's another one of those things where this setup of us seeing Gojo happy in the afterlife, and then just the full page spread of just half his body and blood pouring out of his mouth like that, it just hits so much harder. But like, granted, I understand why people are upset by this. Like, of course we want Gojo to win. Of course we want the strongest to succeed. But from a storytelling perspective, that would not be a compelling story then. Sukun is dead. Oh, great. Then, well, Gojo can then just go eviscerate Geto / Kinjaku for a second time. And then the story's over. Wahoo. That's it. There's no struggle there. So here we get to see the struggle. And then we also get to see the curse technique for Kashimo. And we'll see if it's like some kind of insane thing where it's, in my opinion, it's probably going to be some bullshit where he just becomes supercharged, but his body can't handle it, so he just becomes fast as fuck.
I think it literally is gonna be that, because
Yeah.
like if you see like his flashback from I forgot what period they're in. He's like coughing up blood after he killed all those guys. So I think it's just like he gets like a permanent nerf once he used the curse technique.
Right.
So yeah, my thoughts are it is kind of like I feel like it's a little bit of a mix of both. Like, I mean, we've all been predicting like it is just necessary for Gojo to die because like you can't have that strongest character defend everyone, literally just fix the whole situation, because that's what they were banking on as well.
Right.
Like they were just saying like, okay, once we get Gojo back, everything will be fixed. And like, okay, good, not everything is fixed. That means that our characters are gonna have to grow more and everything like that. And I kind of agree with that missing chapter too. Like, what is it? The more that I reread this chapter, the more that like I'm kind of like maybe we should have had another chapter of just seeing Gojo get cut in half, and the other part is like, did we really need it? Because like it seems like it was right after that hollow purple, immediately afterwards, Sukuna threw out that slash. By the fact of, I know that it's really hard to see and it's really hard to tell, but in that last page, on page 18, just like that little small part where Sukuna says, I feel great, his left arm is still missing. He is still not regenerating. So like it seems like right after he got nuked with the hollow purple, he's like right across. But also it just felt way too sudden of Gojo to die. It's like such a contrast between like them saying like Gojo won, and then like we see half of his body standing covered in blood. So that just feels a little weird. And I know a lot of the internet had to complain about this, and I personally do as well. I wanted to wait for the official translations, but I hated how much Gojo was sucking Sukuna off in the afterlife. It's like, dude, he was so strong. Just like, and I know that it may just be because he's dead and he didn't hear Sukuna explain, like, hey, I needed Maharaga in order to beat you. Like, he just straight up said that. Like, I needed him to be a role model for me to finish this. Like, he didn't even go all out. I feel like Sukuna did. Like, not really, because there's still Yorozu's gift. That's what everyone thought it was going to be. At least that's what I think a lot of people thought it would have been.
Right.
But, like, Gojo is Gojo, and I hate that he wasn't being cocky at the end in the afterlife. He's just like, he was super strong, stronger than me. It's just like, listen, dude, it was like the one chance difference. So yeah, those were like my big things.
Yeah, no, I think you bring up a lot of good points. I think that concept of wow, Gojo losing his cockiness is, I think, an attempt at character growth, but I wonder if Gege just kind of gave up a little.
Yeah. My argument for that. Oh, sorry. Am I?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like building on that, like character growth. It doesn't feel to me genuine.
Right.
Yeah. Gojo saying that, I'm like, well, it could be just, 235 chapters we've known him as being this cocky bastard, and all of a sudden, after he dies, he changes. Maybe death can change someone. I don't know. But it just doesn't feel like with the Gojo we know, or I guess maybe the Gojo we know, or it doesn't feel like proper like character. Like I said, it doesn't feel genuine to me. Maybe, and that's maybe why I wanted that in between chapter is to kind of not even have Sukuna finish off Gojo, have the scene of him cutting in half. I think that's a great reveal at the end, halfway through this chapter. Maybe just right after that purple hollow, them have a talk, and this Gojo in some way has that character growth. Right then, he's like, maybe I'm not the strongest. Maybe something like that. And then that would maybe to me make that his comments in the afterlife feel a little bit more genuine.
I agree. The like one other thing as well, and it's because like literally right before we recorded, I saw the name of the chapter because most of the time we don't really read it, but like it relates back to what Nanami said of like you can either go north or go south because the name of this chapter, at least in English, is heading south, which is basically remaining as your same character. That's what it sticking to your own same ideals. And I feel like that's such a crucial part of Gojo itself is that like he's cocky because he can be. Um, and so then with like the same thing of like Gojo decided to head south, and there are like some theories of just like, oh, he's gonna head north, he's still alive. We'll get into the copium in just a second, but like the fact that the title is heading south and that's what Gojo's doing, I would have expected a little bit of just like a maybe I would have found another way to beat him, but I'm happy that it ended like this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that would have been even like a better thing for him to say.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
but
fair.
yeah.
Um, I saw. I don't. If you guys want to get into like the copium stuff, but I saw a theory like literally right before we recorded that um, in Buddhist mythology, I don't know if that's the correct term, but Buddha went north, and
Yeah.
that's kind of, I believe if I remember correctly, it's when Buddha went north, it's him being reborn.
Yeah. Or like
The theory I saw was stating that maybe Gojo, in a sense, I'm doing quotation marks here, is going north, and going north, sorry, excuse me, means being reborn. So maybe the next Six Eyes user gets born here. Maybe not right at this moment, but
That's
the
possible,
next.
actually.
Yeah, of
yeah.
course, maybe they probably won't have Infinite Void at the same time or whatever, but or Infinity,
Yeah.
but maybe it just means that the kind of the like the whole to me this whole fight now after it's finally coming to a conclusion is building on like the passing of the torch to the next generation, and then maybe the ending of maybe this new Six Eyes user being born is passing the torch of, hey, look at how I got trained. Like Gojo telling the students, look how I got trained. The next kid with my technique is coming. Don't make him turn out like me.
Mm-hmm.
Help him get it. Let him have friends. Be friends with him. That sort of thing. Um, which is like the whole theme of like Gojo. Not the whole theme, but one of the big themes, in my opinion, of Gojo's character is like training the next generation so they don't turn out like him. And he's like, well, don't stop with you guys. Keep this
Yeah.
idea going. Like, don't take
Yeah.
away someone's
And
childhood.
yeah, I agree with that. I think that is like the big cement of his character of just like you said it perfectly, and it's stated even in like the JJK Zero movie of just like don't rob kids of their childhood. Um, so I think that that is a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that
Also,
makes sense
I
there.
thank you for letting me cook that long. I don't think I did mute. I don't think I could have cooked any longer with my throat. Oh, I'm over after that. You're not hearing from me till the
All
end of
good.
the episode.
Max, you just got cut in half actually.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
gone.
uh,
Um, do we want to get more into this copium?
I think we
Uh,
should.
Hell yeah, dude.
okay.
I've got that's what like half my notes are is making fun of. I should say making fun of copium, but talking about the copium.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, the amount of people that are like super, super mad about this whole situation of Gojo dying is ridiculous. Like it's people that just don't understand storytelling. And I know that some people are definitely making a joke, but also people push it way too far. Like there is somebody that did a summary of like what the internet's reaction has been to Gojo's death, and that like so there's like a new law apparently in Japan where people that have like secret identities and stuff, so like VTubers, mangaka, other things like that, they have to reveal their actual personal names on like legal documents and everything. Like I think specifically when they're getting paid, that's what Japanese government is making them do. So whenever somebody talks about that on Twitter, the next comment afterwards is gay because people are pissed at him and they're just like, I want to know who this guy is. I'm gonna fight him.
It's like the
Uh,
Ricky, when I find you, like that. Yeah.
yeah. Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky.
When I
Ricky,
catch
when
you,
I catch you,
Ricky.
Ricky. So yeah, there's that. People are sending him death threats. I think one of the biggest fan fictions now is literally like a 3 million page document saying Gojo will live.
It's
To the
on
point
what
that
is
is big enough that
AO3 or whatever. Yeah, it's like
yeah,
6
whatever that
million words.
is.
It just keeps repeating. Gojo
Yeah,
will live.
yeah, and it's big enough that somebody put it on their wall. Like their entire wall of their bedroom is Gojo will live with like manga panels of him.
Like someone in
Jesus.
Japan, they made a mural to Gojo. Have
Yeah.
you guys heard
There's
about
one in
that one?
Chile as well.
Yeah, it's like all over.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, big reactions. I honestly, I know that I shouldn't be surprised because it is the internet, but I'm surprised that it ended up like this. Like this is how people are reacting.
There's yeah, people are a lot more hyperbolic in their reactions to stuff nowadays.
Well, like in my opinion, like a bunch of the theory, like I think maybe I may be generalizing too much. I've heard one good theory of how Gojo could come back, but everyone's like, Hashimoto's whole job is to distract Sukuna. Well, Shoko
Bro.
or Yuta goes and heals him. Like, no, let this man finally die in peace.
Yeah.
Or like the only one that like somewhat I think I've talked to Nick briefly about it. The only one that somewhat I don't know makes sense seems there's 1 ounce of plausibility to it is when Yuji quote unquote dies when they go into like the prison.
Mhm.
Sukuna and Yuji go into a like
Oh,
in a
DNA domain.
domain inside of Yuji's body. People are saying maybe Gojo did that. I don't think. I think we see at the end, of course, on page 19, Gojo smiling after Sukuna says that. So I think he's content. Personally, I believe Gojo's content with the outcome of this fight. He gave it his all, and he's dead. Period.
Also, this is a little bit of a sidetrack, but I just want to say I'm so happy that was fucking right that it was going to be like Gojo's going to take out Maharaga. He's going to do something big like that to nerf Sukuna. I'm so happy I was right on that. I know that maybe a lot of people thought that was going to happen, but I'm so happy I predicted that right.
Mm-hmm. No, it's good too because now it is possible still to kill Sukuna.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else.
It was a cop out. Sukuna having Sukuna with 10 shadows is a cop out. He's the biggest fucking clown. It was a 3-on-1.
Still.
He's a fraud. He's an asshole.
Max, we're still in the mindset that Gojo won this fight. a month and a half ago when I saw Maharaga come out, I'm like, it's over. Gojo won. Even if he dies, he won in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
He
made him use 10 shadows. So
I need to send this to you, Dries, but it was a TikTok that I saw of like Sukuna holding back against Gojo. I sent it to Pruden.
Yeah, I remember
but it was that clip of Family Guy where like Joe got his legs back and like Peter and all their other friends like Quagmire and Cleveland try to beat him up and break his legs again, and Joe just keeps beating the shit out of him. It's just like, yeah, that's totally Sukuna holding back.
Mm-hmm.
He had to do a 3-on-1 against him and still lost.
Yep.
100%. Well, like
100%.
now, we're saying, oh, is Sukuna stronger or is Gojo stronger? I'm gonna put a new hat in the ring for the strongest thing in Jujutsu Kaisen. That finally got beat. Gojo's fucking compression shirt he's been wearing this fight. It finally got ripped.
Yep.
Yes, it did get ripped in half, but like maybe that was truly the infinite
Really
void.
the strongest.
That was truly Gojo's infinite void as a
Yeah.
tight compression shirt.
the oh yeah, there was like another theory that I know it won't happen, but it's honestly the most legitimate way for Gojo to come back, and that is that Takaba, to lighten the mood, just makes a joke like, "Oh, Gojo can come back. He'll come back right now," and then he just comes back up because of Takaba's curse technique.
Oh, oh no!
The new honored one is
That-
Takaba.
That'd be
Everyone.
so stupid. Oh my
Yes,
god.
but it's such a Takaba thing to do.
Oh.
It'd be perfect. I would love it, but also I want Gojo to rest in peace finally.
Yeah, I want him to
But
be dead.
I want Taka to be like, what if during this fight it's like Kashima uses his technique, it amps him up, whatever we talked about, it's a big giant power amp. I mean that would also okay. Hear me out with Kashima. I'm gonna go on a little tangent. To power amp. What if it's like an amp? I mean, we've already seen the guy use the other principal with his technique. What if what if Kashima's technique is just an amp that just makes his I mean, that was already what we're seeing. Never mind. Okay. What if he's like, Takaba's like, not Kenjaku. Kashima was struggling slightly, and Takaba's like, it would be really funny if Kashima can use his technique multiple times, and just
It just stacks it.
just keep spamming his technique, and it's like a super, it's like Black Flash on like crack cocaine or something at this point. You just keep stacking.
That'd be interesting, honestly.
But what I really think is gonna happen is that okay, so I feel like we're gonna get thrown immediately into the Kashimo fight, which I'm really hyped for. I'm gonna call it right now. He's still gonna be able to beat Sukuna's dismantle and cleave. His technique's gonna be like godlike, like he's literally called the god of lightning. I don't know, maybe it's gonna be like some Raijin thing. I think that's the right name for the god in like Japanese mythology, whatever.
Yeah.
What's gonna kill him? It's gonna be like the whole thing that Megumi did with Reggie, and it's just gonna be like, oh, I'm actually gonna throw out the wolf guy, but he's amped now because half of my curse spirits are half of my Shikigami are gone, and they got poured into the wolf, and then just like takes a chunk out of Kashimo and just like, I'm still the best, but he's still a fraud. That's what it's gonna be like. That's what I'm predicting right now.
You're probably right, honestly. I think Kashimo has to be the example for that, like, there's still a large power gap between everyone else in Sukuna. Like,
yeah. And this also like it guarantees now that Kashimo doesn't have a domain, or maybe he does, but I don't think he would, just because Sukuna doesn't have one, and that's the only thing. Is just like say Kashimo throws out a domain expansion, Sukuna's is over, unless he somehow breaks out of it. But
yeah, I don't think Sukuna would be able to throw out another domain expansion.
yeah, like he literally just can't.
Yeah, this upcoming fight is gonna be interesting to say the least. Oh, I think, God, whatever her name is, Ice Lady, she's for 100%. She's just gonna step in and it's either there's gonna be a really short fight, Sukuna's gonna be able to slice reality again, or Ice Lady is gonna step in, and then Sukuna's gonna go home and bathe in more cursed spirits again.
I'd hate that. I would hate that so much. But I feel like that could be such a real thing that happens, because I know that Kashima will be like, I'll fight him at full strength.
Yeah.
Like, go let him heal. I'll get rid of you. But I really hope that doesn't happen.
I in a way, it just depends on how long Gege wants this story to continue. That's his, because Gege could have it so that everyone takes a step back and starts powering back up again. But it's probably gonna be the case where Kashimo and Ice Lady fight, and then I don't know, one kills the other. Hopefully Kashimo kills Ice Lady so that we just don't have to deal with her anymore. But we'll see.
Yeah. We also have to see what everyone else is gonna do. Like, what's Maki, Yuta, and Hikari gonna do?
Right.
I think it could be interesting. Oh, sorry. Do you guys...
No, go.
Shoot it.
So like the only person Sukuna like respects is she Rame? Is her name? Whatever. The ice chick. The only person he respects, what if Kashimo, we see this, she steps in and Sukuna fucks off or whatever, and then we see her and Kashimo fight. What if Kashimo wins? And this is like the only person like Sukuna has ever respected die. I don't know if that could change his character, his mentality or something, but just something like that might be cool to see.
Maybe I just can't see that. I think like what is it? It's a whole superiority thing with Sukuna and like what is it, Arame, I think that's the name. Just because like Arame is his chef. He's just like, I cook stuff for you. Like it's never like it's respect out of the fact of just like, hey, you cook my meals, you make me have a warm bed to sleep in, buddy. That's how this relationship works. It's like a shark and a remora fish.
Yeah.
Also,
but no, that's what I mean. Is like the only
11,
person that Sukuna's like let not be on the same level as him, but been with him the whole time. Like we'll get a power amp if she dies, because he's like the only person that's truly been useful this whole time is dead. What am I gonna do? I can't bathe in cursed spirits. I gotta actually try. I don't know.
I still can't see that just because he was surprised that Arame was still alive when he incarnated in Yuji. Like right after he killed Jogo, Arame showed up. Like, wait, you're here? I could also just see it as just like he gets tired of Arame and then just like cuts them in half and just be like, your food was getting bland anyways.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I keep on jumping around. Also, I know that this probably isn't true, but in page 11, I really want to think that that guy in the back is TOJI. Where Rico
I think it was.
is. Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah,
I'm not
like
sure.
At least it's the same clothing and everything.
Oh, actually, it could be. Hold on. I was gonna.
That would make sense.
I was gonna talk about that actually earlier. Yeah, that looks like TOJI. I was wondering why we didn't see TOJI, because I feel like that conversation between him and Gojo would have been interesting. Discussing the fight between him and Sukuna.
I think that would have been a good thing as well. I mean, maybe I don't know. It probably won't happen. I feel like this is the end of it, like of the afterlife talk.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about the other thing that like fueled a bunch of the COPIUM was that it was like mistranslations. So like when he was yelling at the principal, people said that it was Gojo saying goodbye to everyone instead of him saying to like dying with no regrets. And that was just because like that was like fresh when leaks came out. So I think that also helped fuel like all this COPIUM.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Because when so I never read the leaks. Is it the entire chapter that gets leaked, or is it just singular pages?
The entire chapter. So how it works is that somebody, because like the chapters aren't like finished on Friday, of course, like because they have to be printed physically.
Right.
So like the chapter's probably done like Monday or like Sunday. So like probably Gege's finishing his new chapter right now, and it gets printed and then it gets sent out to all like the convenience stores and everything, supermarkets in Japan. And then there's somebody that just has a connection that gives them the newest copy of Shonen Jump and leaks it.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So they're like really rough scans, but you can still like translate everything, and then like it works. So yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to cover besides the future and how sick this next fight is gonna be, because I'm so hyped for Kashimo to fight.
Oh, it's gonna be sick.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I mean, long-term story-wise, this story has to end. Like, it has to. We can't have like a Bleach situation where it's just like this weird dancing around the final battle bullshit. Like,
I agree. The thing is that like the ending definitely feels like it's coming soon, but we still have so much more time to cover
Right.
everything else because like nobody's fought Ice Lady or Kenjaku yet. And I mean, I'm happy that they're not doing it where like there's multiple fights consecutively going on at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Although I know that a lot of us wanted that, but I don't think um that would actually be smart because if anyone looks at My Hero, this final arc has been a mess overall because it's tackling every fight at the exact same time. So they're jumping from chapter to chapter to new fights, and it's not fun. Um, it's better to just have all of these go off at the same time, but then also because of that, this we're in the ending arc, but it's gonna take so long for it to finish.
Yep.
Oh, I just realized it's snowing uh uh in this scene. I didn't realize that.
Oh, it is?
At the end of the chapter.
Yeah. Well, like when Gojo's dead, I was thinking like, what are those white things? And
It
it makes sense
is.
because it's December. Yeah. So
Dude,
like the
it's like
second that
it's like
Gojo died, it's like
Bleach.
snowing.
It's like how he hates the rain.
God damn
Instead,
it.
it's snow.
The world couldn't handle it, so the world started crying the second Gojo died, but it was so cold it turned to snow.
Ooh, that goes hard. That line goes hard, Nick.
Thank you.
I thought those
Thank
were
you.
like particulates in the air of
Yeah,
debris.
it was actually just fiberglass.
Yeah, exactly. Also, side note, on page 8, that iced coffee looks so good.
It does look
Yeah.
super good. It does
Gonna
look
go
super
make one of
good.
those after this.
Probably. Oh my God, that is what I'll be doing. Um, but yeah. I guess we're kind of close to wrapping it up. What do you guys think what do you think the next chapter is gonna be?
100% it's gonna be Kashimo trying to fuck some shit up, and then it's probably gonna get interrupted somehow. Either everyone jumps Sukuna at once, or, you know, or Ice Lady steps in, or one of those. So,
I want to see Kenjaku again. I want to see what he's thinking right now. Like, I want to see his like reaction. Like, this is what he planned. He's like, oh,
Let's go. It
like
happened. It
he's
happened.
like, oh, I want to see maybe something Kenjaku didn't plan happen. He's like, oh, I kind of wasn't expecting Sukuna to win here. Like, what do I do now? Like, the whole thing was I was gonna go take Gojo's weakened brain. It's gonna go take over his body. What do I do? Like,
Yeah. Like, how do I fix this?
how do I fix it? Yeah. um, I would like to maybe see the start of like this Kashimo Sukuna fight, or maybe whatever. But also, I kind of would like to maybe see Kenjaku. Here we go. I'd like to see what I said about Kenjaku, and I'd like to see just a little bit, maybe even a 1 page or a few panels of our main cast grieving for a second. But then they're like, Gojo wouldn't want us to grieve. He wouldn't want us to push forward,
mhm.
you know. So, and then that's their resolution to keep moving is Gojo would have wanted us to keep going. So then Gojo, even though he's dead, he's still part of the story. Like this idea of pushing forward, and I guess the idea of never taking away the childhood and not turning out like him. Those are like the 2 ideas that fuel our main cast to finish what Gojo started.
Yeah.
My idea on what's gonna happen. I know that this sounds exactly how it did with this feels with Kashimo just jumping in, it's giving me the same vibes of Yuki fighting Kenjaku after Choso stepped out. So I feel like it's gonna be the exact same vibe of just like Kashimo shows up, curse technique, and Sukuna's like, what? Gets knocked into a building, and then I don't know, Sukuna just like cuts off his leg or something. I don't know.
Mhm.
I think that's the only way that I can think of this going right now. And also like probably the rest of the cast grieving and then being like, okay, well now we have to rely on Kashimo. Plan B, go right now, right now.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
right. I never know how to close these out right. Thank you everyone listening for listening to was it episode 43 of the Jumpcast.
Yes, sir.
If you have any other comments, anything that you'd like to add, if you want to add some more copium to the comments, please feel free to. If you liked this, please give us a like. And yeah, we luckily don't have a break next week, so we'll be back next Sunday.
And subscribe, please.
Yes,
We'll see you next
Yes.
week.
please.
And hopefully I won't sound like I'm about to die next week.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I was actually lying this whole time. I'm like, my throat's like this because I've been crying about Gojo dying.
God. All right. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.